And we are live. Welcome back, everybody, to Behind the Tool Belt. Today, we have another special guest. Stay tuned. We will be back after our short intro from our sponsors.
TC Backer. Roofing, siding, windows, gutter, solar. Roofing, siding, windows, gutter, solar. TC Backer.
Welcome back, everybody, to Behind the Tool Belt. Thank you for joining us on your lunch break. If you are on your lunch break, hopefully you are and won't get in trouble for tuning in while you're sitting at your desk at work. I know everybody upstairs hopefully better be right now here at TC Backer, better be watching and liking, loving, and sharing this. But seriously, we have another great guest today. Jimmy Hammond's my man. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing amazing, Ty, man. How's things going in your world, bud?
Fantastic. Spring has sprung. I think we've gotten over the April showers, bring May flowers, hopefully, because I know up here in the Northeast, we've been receiving a lot of rain, which we desperately needed some rain. And it almost appears that things are starting to dry back out again. I noticed my grass was getting burnt out again, but it is good roofing season. Right now, with the lack of rain right now, we can actually get some work done. So things are good, man. Spring has sprung and summer's on its way. I don't know when the first day of summer is. I think it's right around the corner, but things are good, man. How's life? How's the family doing and all that stuff?
I mean, it's going amazing, to be quite honest. We've got actually, as we speak now, my kids are out. So they're out kayaking down some river, with some friends of ours, so they're out and about. That way I can have somewhat of a quiet room to be able to talk, and hopefully we won't have sound like the house is coming down around me. But no, it's been awesome, man. Getting with the personal life with the kiddos and their sports. I got two in baseball, one in softball. The professional side with Destination Motivation, which I'm sure we'll get into later, has been quite amazing. Kind of making my return back to the contract industry. I took like a little hiatus there for a year or so. So getting back in and talking to guys like you, helping guys like you, and making sure that the way we go about helping contractors and just driving value, because at the end of the day, that's what everyone wants to feel. Like, I want to make sure what I'm doing is making a difference, whether I'm a contractor, I'm a vendor, whatever it is. I want to make sure you're actually being something of help and value to somebody. And that's a big part that I love with what we do here now currently, man.
Man, I love that. I love how you mentioned making a difference and feeling fulfilled, right? Especially in your professional life. You know, it just seems like there's no real monetary value that you can put on the feeling of fulfillment, right? Happy and creating value to somebody and bringing value to somebody's life. So that's a good, fun topic. And I love that you said that, because, you know, that's what this show's all about, man. This show's about, you know, bringing good people on here, talking about the products that they do and have and offer and the value that they bring. And of course it's live, raw, and uncut. And it's just kind of like, you know, two dudes on their lunch break. Like I said earlier, It's like just two guys on their lunch break, man, shooting the shit, you know, over live, you know, Facebook and YouTube right now and all that good stuff. And Jimmy, I met you, I want to say it was pre-COVID. I think we met virtually. And that's what's cool about technology today and social media and stuff. And we had a great guest on last week, Chris Scoville, and we talked about like some of our best friends today we met through social media. Like, we're really friends, not just Facebook friends, but like we're legit friends. And that's the cool thing about social commerce today. And this is kind of sort of how I met you. I want to say it was probably right around 2019. We were looking to adapt GAF's project, I think, for our CRM. And they just weren't quite where we needed it to be yet, because we have many facets to our business. We not just only do roofing, but we do siding, windows, gutters, and solar. And this is where Jimmy Hammond's came into play. With when you worked for One Click Contractor, right?
Correct.
And so GAF like kind of turned us on to you, like, hey, if you guys want to do, you know, a little more with your CRM and want to get a little more elaborate with it, Jimmy Hammond's your guy. So Jimmy started to build us out a CRM, which I think we ended up going a different direction at that time. I think we ended up actually going with Job Progress, who we're with today. I don't remember what happened there. I think COVID hit and everything just kind of went haywire or something. But that was my first introduction to meeting Jimmy, and then we've talked a little bit over the years since then. And so Jimmy, let's talk about what One Click Contractor is. Kind of like your journey, with them, and like what it is and what it was, because I kind of had the sense that it was like a white labeled version. I mean, yes, they're called One Click Contractor, but is it like a go high level, like where you can like white label it and make it do what you need it to do? Or like, what is One Click Contractor? I guess my question.
So One Click Contractor is one of the most powerful CPQ, configure price quote systems in the industry. So they're really going to help manage your front end. You're looking at, they're in the same competitive arenas like your Leap to Digitals, your Vendos, your Sumo Quotes, where you're wanting to make sure that all the things that the sales team is using right there at the kitchen table, your documents, your presentations, your contracts, your price list, all that stuff you need to produce an effective presentation and contract and get a signature. They kind of put all of it into one system. And then I was blessed enough to work with guys like you and kind of build out those price lists, make sure that if I hit template and I'm putting on this kind of roof, I've got all the elements I need. If I'm offering, I believe you guys were master lead at the time with GAF. Well, in order for you to hit that, you got to offer, was it 5 of the warranty components in order to make sure that you're hitting that each time? Well, let's make sure you get that on each and every contract. So that way, when you sell the warranty, you don't get in like, oh, wait, you only put 3 of the 5 pieces on. Well, that's not going to qualify. So, and to your point, I mean, you dig in and have those conversations with you and your people on your end who handle that. You get to be close. You get to talk to people quite a bit because, as you know, it's pretty damn intricate to put together a price list for 5 different product lines. And that's a part where you just really get to learn and know people themselves about how they act, how they want to interact with you. And that just gives you a feel of who that person is overall. Because you can have some people that are collaborative and want to get in and they get like, hey, it's a process, we're moving there. And there's others where it's just kind of like very transactional, very not my cup of tea of how I want to deal with people. But you figure that out really quickly when you get that deep in the weeds with stuff like that. So, I mean, it was such an amazing opportunity and learned so much. I mean, because think about all the people you deal with in your life that install things. I mean, you can get to the same location, which is a price. And there's 10 different routes about how you get there, what formula you use, what measurements you're pulling. And just to get exposure and see all that, I mean, that's like literally like a construction's master's degree. And you'll be able to have that kind of insight to you guys.
No doubt. So was that your first introductory into the R space, or have you been in the contractor space for a moment?
No. So I'd actually started a little bit prior to that. My journey into this was somewhat unique, at least from my perspective. When I was in like my 20s or so, I actually used to work at UPS. I worked there long enough where I got a pension, a relic of a former life, right? So, hey, I got something to look forward to when I get 62, right? Wow. But you go back to the old kind of financial issues that happened like late 2000s. Well, no promotions, no things were able to get into like that driver spot. So I was like, hey, I need to make a career change and do what's best for my family. Well, I live here in Indianapolis. And at that point, one of the biggest companies going on was Angie's List. So I had a buddy of mine that got me a referral, got me in there, and really just started at the ground floor working up. We were actually in, they had something called member sales, because if anyone who's familiar with Angie's List, who goes way back when they had just the original list, well, a homeowner actually had to pay money to be on that. I don't know if everyone is still familiar with that setup or dynamic or not. So I was part of the team that actually sold those to the homeowners as they were coming in and wanted to leave reviews and find contractors like you. I was there for, almost 8-9 years. So went through many levels at that, from working in the business center, working in e-commerce products, some special products where we kind of helped them go through the geofencing of how you could find a contractor close to you. We were part of the team that helped lead that initiative. And then got into our national products team, which that, again, as you and I made a connection and network and kept in touch, I met my manager there, whose name was Eric Gossard. As we went through all the transitions with the buyout and IAC, he ended up leaving and met with One Click Contractors founder, Dale Thornberry. He was one of the founded the company originally, and they were going through building and growing. Like, hey, great opportunity over here. Why don't you see? I think he'd be a great fit just to kind of come over and start managing accounts and going from there. So I left Angie's List literally right before COVID. I still remember this really vividly in that I think COVID hit March 2020, February 2020, depending on how you want to cut the dice on it. I think I left Angie's List like mid-January. It was like January 15th time frame. So like I started this new company, new job, new everything. A month and a half later, boom, COVID hits. And now you're trying to figure out how to work from home.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily for us, OneClick had built-in screen share, and one of their features is being able to do remote selling. So, I mean, praise above. That gave me the ability to not be impacted, still have the ability to put food on the table, have a great job, and stayed there for a couple of years. Help them get on the Inc. 5000 list, grow, bring on their GAF white label, kind of to your earlier point, that if you got enough money, you can white label anything, which GAF does, obviously. Mm-hmm. So that was where that product and our introduction came into play. Stayed there, kind of grew, met lots of great people from Dale, Bill Phillips, another industry veteran who is at Home Depot, did lots of amazing things there. So again, just these people that know so much and have gone through all these iterations in the industry and seen where you're going from pen to paper and hand measurements to now. Dale had the patent on pictometry. So he actually was where they developed the Eagle View Quick Squares report off of. That was the patent he developed for it. So you're able to actually pull those measurements and have some remote opportunities with that. Bill did so much in his industries as well. So just getting to have that front seat and be able to learn from all of these people was such a great experience. After that, I thought I wanted to kind of go outside the industry and try a few marketing places, which just, again, great learning experiences, man. I mean, learning how marketing firms work, how they go and pitch to the regular audiences versus contractors. Worked with a lot of something I'm really passionate about as well as a HubSpot. I had a lot of different experience with that as a CRM and how that can help make an amazing customer experience, you can connect people from your internal customers and your external customers. So I had a lot of great experiences and that led me to present day Destination Motivation. Got back with Caleb and the team there. And it's really just kind of been all hands on deck since I've been there about a year now. So it's just been a ride, and just going and growing and learning and meeting folks along the way has just been the best part about it.
Yeah, no, that's a wonderful journey, and I can see how your relationships led you down that path, and the things that you've learned along the way. Would you say that the relationships that you've met or created over the years, I guess, up until this point now, how much of that has played an impact or a role of where you're at today?
Oh, man. Hey, great question. And I would probably say of all the things I've picked up along the way, I would venture to say that's one of the most crucial things that I've received value in the sense of just filling up my personal cup and having these relationships, but also being able to, and I don't say it's like in a taking advantage type way, but where you can leverage them in tough times. I mean, be honest. I mean, there's a lot of folks out there that struggle finding jobs right now, and it's a tough job market for people because you got all these algorithms and Indeeds and LinkedIn's and trying to cut through things. Well, I know if I call you and, hey, I'm looking to do something, I'm going to have a real conversation. We're going to be able to cut the tape and get right into where that needs to be. I mean, that's how my past couple of years have been. Like for all the progressions, I mean, I still had in the past 4 years, 4 jobs, but there's never a break. There's never any sort of hiatus or where I had a problem finding it, because you maintain those relationships. Like I said, when I went to OneClick, why'd I go there? Well, my contact and my friend from Angie's List was a manager there and thought it'd be a good idea for me to go there. I went from OneClick to a company called TerraBoost Media. They sell like some ads on little hand sanitizers you see when you go into CVS. Mm-hmm. Had a whole host of folks that it was like Angie's List reunited almost. We had 5 or 6 people that I enjoyed working with, respected, liked how things went with them. So just having those connections allows you to move on to the next opportunity because people know who you are as a person and they know the value you bring. So whether that's with their company themselves or they know someone that's needing help, I mean, that's the way to cut through amazingly. I mean, even my current spot, I met Caleb because of a one-click contractor.
Mm-hmm.
We were trying to onboard a client and bring them on. Like, yeah, we're not going to use you guys unless you have a solution to get destination motivation going. All right, well, I guess let me go meet Caleb and let's see how we can get this figured out. Then 3 years later, it circles back and it makes sense for me to work for him and help him out in my current capacity now. So that's truly the biggest thing of all the things I've learned, because you can have skills and you can have things you can do, but at the end of the day, if people don't know you give a shit about using those skills in a way that help them and matter to them, what's the value in that?
Exactly. So that's kind of cool, because your network has become your net worth, right? Those that know have kind of helped you along the way, plus by doing the next right thing and being a good worker, co-worker, friend, and those things, they kind of it sounds like they kind of drug you along. So speaking of destination motivation, what the hell is destination motivation for those of us that have no idea what it is? And I'm sure there's some viewers out there listening right now that have no idea what destination motivation is. I mean, I could use my imagination and come up with some creative stuff based upon the name, but I really don't think that's what it is, or maybe it is.
So we're the premier sales incentive program for the construction and home services industry. We help any of the teams we work with use our high value vacation vouchers as a point of sale incentive to help close more jobs, make those jobs more profitable, and drop those cancellation rates. I mean, in a lot of cases, almost to zero. Where those are big issues for clients. And kind of back to the thing we talked about earlier, knowing you're providing value, knowing you're helping somebody out. Well, when I go and we implement a program and I take a guy who's at 19% of a cancellation rate and we drop him to 9%, that's a hell of a difference on their bottom line. And that's something that, like, you're not trying to parse through, like, oh, well, you got this many page impressions, you got this many hits off. I mean, that's very real, concrete data that people get excited about. People get emotional about. And those are the results and things that we drive for sales teams literally across the country. And not only do we get the opportunity to see how that helps the sales teams, we also talk to the homeowners that get these vouchers. So these people who may not be, and this is a thing you may not uncover, like kind of those black swans, if you read Chris Voss a little bit, the unknown unknowns. Well, you don't know what a vacation means to a homeowner when you're in the house with them. You don't know if they're going to have to cancel this vacation because they've got a leak in the roof and they maybe can't pay the deductible they have going on there. And this is maybe their kid's last time they're going to get a chance to take a spring break trip with them, or any of the other things we hear, whether it's reuniting with old family members, people who are getting over illnesses. These vacations give them an emotional attachment and value that now they associate to your company. So now not only, and let's take you, for instance, Ty, you go in there and you help somebody out, put an amazing roof on their house. Now you've got all of their home needs taken care of. Well, that still costs a lot of real money for them to get that on there. And I mean, that most people got one bucket of money to come from. So now if they can get that taken care of, and maybe they can go take a nice little staycation down the road, whether it's in the Poconos or Disney, or, I mean, we got 106 places in there. So you can go local, you can go wherever you really want. Maybe you got elderly folks that want to go on cruises. Again, we use travel because at the end of the day, that is what elicits an emotional response. And as you know, when we're in sales, the longer we can keep people in that emotional state and be excited and really not only about the project, but about all the other incentives and things you're bringing on, that not only makes the sales stickier, it makes you stand out. I mean, think about your guys when they go into the home now. What's the normal point of sale incentive? Here's 5% off, 10% off, some gutters with your roofs. Mm-hmm. How does that sound different to the homeowner, man? This gives you that texture. It gives you that differentiator to allow you to stand out and get their attention. And then really get the dial in and start peeling those layers back about how you can help out. I mean, you obviously got to drive your own values, products, warranties, guarantees, all the things that you guys do from that standpoint. Where's like that cherry on top that makes you stand out and gives you that extra value to make it want to go above and beyond. Because at the end of the day, vacation's in the eye of the beholder, right, man? Mm-hmm. Because think of you. Like, I mean, I see you all over the place with going with the family, with kids. If you were to go, like, last place you went for a week, like, think about that. How much did it cost you to go to a nice hotel, nice Airbnb to get that place? Maybe it's 1,000. Maybe it's 2,000. Maybe it's 10,000.
Mm-hmm. Never know.
And that's where the homeowner gets excited and stoked and gets excited going about it. Because now not only are they getting the roof done, man, I might be able to go to Hawaii or get all this amazing like first class trips that I wouldn't have had an opportunity to get to before. And that's what our team helps facilitate.
Yeah. Tell us how this works. Okay. Like I hear, incentives, I hear sales.
Yeah.
Like how does this work? We go into a homeowner's house, they call us up, we go out there, or a storm hits, however we get in the door. Okay. We're reviewing the project with them. We're reviewing the products, how it's going to be done. We got to tear it off, inspect, all this stuff. Well, where do you come into play in this?
So we really come in with the sales team and help them with their training process to implement it. Because here's the thing, the first thing you got to talk about is get over the initial piece that everyone's going to talk about. Is this a scam? Why are you offering me a vacation? This sounds hokey and gimmicky. I mean, that's everyone's first impression of it, right? Mm-hmm. So that's where our training is so crucial. That's why, I don't even think that we're a vacation voucher company. We're a sales training and incentive company. We train you how to use that, and the voucher is just what we use for maximum value. But we train the teams. We help them know how to leverage when to use it. We know how to position it when you're in your icebreaker setup, when you're going through and doing your rapport building. How are you actively scanning the room? How are you using the information in front of you to ask questions, to ask those tiebacks that you're able to then help relate to that homeowner? Now, we also provide the training and follow up with the teams that as you're going through your needs assessment, you're going through creating all the things for the actual presentation you're going to have. Right when you get to price presentation, we then show you how to use the voucher again for maximum value. Because now is the point where we're trying to put pen to paper and get a sale on there. We want to elicit an emotional response. Vacation is going to do an amazing job with that if you can start tying that to family, memories, and loved ones. 2, we want to make them feel that the value they're receiving from working with your company is so far above and beyond that they would have gotten from anyone else. They don't want to have another company come out. They don't want to have any other bids provided now. So now you're able to offer that right as you're going through your financing, whatever the final payment is going to be. And hey, Mr. and Mrs. Homeowner, if you qualify, it looks like we're going to be able to provide you one of our vacation vouchers as well. Now, they're not free because we don't want it to be a gimmicky or hokey thing with that. There's small port fees and charges people have to pay for that. Think of it like if you go to Price is Right and you want a showcase showdown, you got taxes and fees, right? Same thought and concept with that. But we help all of our homeowners save anywhere from 50 to 80% off of what a trip's going to cost. So this is where those questions and tiebacks we're talking about come in so handy. Someone says they just went to Hawaii or Florida or wherever and they spent $5,000-$6,000 on it. All right. Well, now if you're looking at the vacation, this is going to be maybe $3,000 or $4,000 in value in that homeowner's eyes. And that's the part where now not only am I getting a great value on who's installing this, I know Ty's crew is going to do the best job with product warranties, guarantees, all the looks from it. Now, instead of just getting $1,000 off my project, which is the same as what it sounds from anyone else, now I'm going to take my kids over to Hawaii, or we're going to go over to a trip in Europe. And those are the things that it gives them more value than they expected. And now they're tying that emotional response, or tying all of that goodwill back to your team as they go and experience these amazing trips.
Okay. So I'm still trying to get my head wrapped around. Okay. So is this something like, I heard you say that it wasn't free to the homeowner. Mm-hmm. I understand that there's taxes and fees and things like that. So like if a contractor would sign up for this, let's start there before we dig a little deeper into the homeowner and how they qualify for it and stuff like that. Because I heard you also say, if the homeowner qualifies for it. But before we get there, let's talk about so if we would sign up, and I'm assuming it's something that the contractor has to sign up with you guys, so then we can offer this to the homeowner. So what does that look like? Like, do we purchase 15 different trips from you at a discounted price, and then we kind of use it in our sales pitch of okay, if you're going to go with us, you'll get here's a vacation voucher, but it'll still cost you $350. So walk me through that journey a little bit for the contractor. How do we get signed up? What's the catch here? Do we got to do so many and then we'll get a free one? Give me the whole gamut on the back end of if you were trying to sell it to me to offer it to the homeowners.
Definitely. So a lot depends on the clients themselves because we tailor the program to each of them. But on broad brushes, we're going to talk about what your sales volume looks like for the month. we're going to want to then factor in where you, because when we say qualify, that's all on the eye of the beholder. You as a company can decide where a homeowner qualifies. So some people want to offer it as package upgrades or make sure that they're offering like an upgraded line of products. Some offer it on every single solitary job to maximize the impact it has on rescissions. Those are things that we kind of talk through on discovery and make sure that we have the best fit for your team and your company, right? We do sell them in an allotment because the way it works for us is we partner with one of 3 travel concierges in the United States. It gives us access to these properties. So we sell them in a group rate. So you guys got to give in at least a minimum order of 10. And then from that point, we really base it on usage each following month thereafter. So you kind of get your initial allotment. And then each month thereafter, we're just going to have a billing for each of the vouchers you use that month with your sales process. Pricing's kind of got a sliding scale where you have a starting point and then you get a volume discount the lower you go. So that's kind of just our normal starter point at that. We start at $249 a voucher with a minimum of 10. And then again, if you got some partners, like I see you're here with Roofle, we've got some partnerships with them, Owens Corning, there's some other specials and deals you can get just from other partner affiliations as well. And then that starts our training process. And this is the cool thing for us from a sales perspective. Think of most sales programs, there's a long runway and they're all great. They're all amazing. I'm not knocking them in any way of that, but ours is short. Ours is essentially turnkey. We talk about how many sales you need, what metrics you're looking for, whether it's close rates, cancel rates that we're trying to really knock out and improve. We'll look at monthly volume. We'll get an initial order in. We're then going to set up a training with your sales team. This is where we go through all the training that we talked about, how to set it up, how to ask the questions that you're going to be able to use as your tiebacks later on, how to leverage it at the point of sale for maximum impact. And just kind of going through all the ins and outs with the team. Have a follow-up training the second week. Get some feedback from those in the field, see what they're hearing, make a few adjustments, changes on pitch just from what anyone's hearing. Then you guys are off to the races. And for right now, this is where it's such an exciting time for us. We just recently brought on a new trainer to our team as well, who was in the industry. So he's been in the home like you guys. He's been a sales manager, and he knows how all those things go and how to really set that up for the teams for maximum success. So that's, again, where like the training and the sales piece of that comes in. And then we show you how to leverage the voucher as the end result.
Okay. All right. So there's a couple good questions in there too. There's a sales piece that I want to circle back to at one point in time here.
Mm-hmm.
So you said group package. So that if we had 10 salespeople, so we got to get each salesperson to sell one of these vouchers in order for these homeowners to go on a trip, like the same trip?
So they're not selling the vouchers in any way whatsoever. It's for them to buy the job from you. So think of your jobs. Do you guys normally offer a point of sale incentive? Like if you're doing a roof or a siding, like what's that normally look like for you guys? Or do you even offer one?
Yeah, I don't think
like so
like to a homeowner?
Yeah, like a cash price, like
absolutely, yeah. Because if they're financing, of course, there's extra fees built into that because we get charged. So then we kind of build that into our overhead. But if it's a cash price, yes, it's going to be less expensive because there's no fees associated with that.
So think of it as just a way as another kind of your frontline incentive or discount you offer to them, as opposed to offering some sort of a cash discount. Because like, what's your cash discount per se? Let's say typically most people are in 5 or 10%, right?
Yes.
If you're just on a $10,000 to $20,000 job, that's still real money. I mean, if you're at 10% of 20,000, that's still $2,000 off of your bottom line, right?
Yes.
Well, I just mentioned, even if you're just buying 10 of those vouchers, that's only $249 you're invested on the front end of that. When you start looking at that at scale, that really impacts margins tremendously. I mean, we've seen companies that have increased their NSLI almost by $1,000 by implementing a program like that, just because they're not having to eat $1,500, $2,000 on each and every sale. Okay.
So, all right, explain that to me. So the vouchers are $240 each. For
$249 for our initial allotment of 10, and then we can have conversations offline for anyone that wants to talk about larger group rates on that.
You don't want me to dig? Okay, because I'm trying to get, and unfortunately we didn't have time, and that's what's cool about our podcast is like it's unscripted, it's unprepared. And the funny thing about this is I was talking to a buddy of mine that is getting ready to do a podcast with somebody, and it's like the questions and rebuttals and stuff, like they're preparing so much. It's been going on for weeks, and it's like, to me, that just seems like, we're chewing up enough calories as it is on our day-to-day jobs that we have. And then now I got to prepare for this podcast. It's only going to last for an hour. And it just seems like a whole lot of pressure and time involved with being prepared for a podcast. And I'm not saying that we don't prepare, because obviously we have to seek guests that come on the show, and I don't want to make this too long-winded, but it's like, one of the cool things about the show is it's like, we don't want this to be as, less stressful as possible. We want it to be as less stressful as possible, and no pressure. It's just two guys on their lunch break, or gals,
right?
And just, grab assing a little bit and trying to be entertaining, educational, and all that good and fun stuff that we try to do on a week-to-week basis. But, I was trying to figure it out myself, like, what is destination? And I know enough about it, but I'm assuming, since I didn't know anything about it up until you started to work there, I'm imagining there's a couple viewers on here that probably had no idea. So my questions are really for them, but and I like the fact that too, it's like you said, that the homeowner, roofing, especially roofing, is not necessarily, I want a new roof. It's that I need a roof. Mm-hmm. So, and like you said, most people have one bucket of cash that they can pull from to purchase a need, right? That they need to put this roof on their house because the roof is leaking, and they're concerned about the health and safety of their family. And this is the most prized possession, the most valuable possession that they own, and we need to put a roof on it. So I guess walk me through the homeowner journey, of you touched on it a little bit earlier, but let's walk through. If I'm a sales guy, I'm in there. Why would a homeowner want to do this, I guess?
So that's the beautiful part of the vacation. Who doesn't want to go on a vacation? So you're not selling anything to a homeowner on that, because you've got, really, from what we found, one of two people when you talk to them. Mm-hmm. You've got people that have budgeted and can afford to go on a vacation. So they're going to go anyway, and they know the value, and they know how much it costs. So you're already speaking their language by being able to provide something that they're already doing anyway that can save some money on it. Or you've got people that they also know what it costs, because they're not going on vacation, because they don't have the money to do so, because they've got, other expenses and things going on where they can't afford to get away. And now you're going to give them, in some cases, this once in a lifetime opportunity to take a vacation and a trip with all the people that they love in their life. And which some people that travel a lot, you may take that for granted if you get out on the road and travel a lot. There are some people, like I've got family that live in Kentucky. They've never left the county that they live in, much less the state. Mm-hmm. So to have an opportunity to possibly go somewhere else, to go to a beach, to go something that may be unexpected and unexperienced, that's a great chance, and it's life-changing. And that's a part that is really the value in not only the homeowner, but other areas of the business as well. When you talk about referrals and other opportunities that can kind of boil out of that. Yeah. Now, kind of completing the circuit on the experience they have, all the homeowner does is they go through the normal contracting process. We have an inbound team or outbound team here in the U.S. that's going to reach out to that homeowner after the sale to congratulate them about their purchase, ask any questions they've got about the trip that's upcoming, and make sure that they get the best place possible with whatever they want to do with their friends, family, and loved ones, right? Now, once we have that initial call, and this is the part where we help out with the cancellations, because it happens during that 3-day right of rescission period, right? Mm-hmm. So that's where a lot of the value comes in from the contractor's perspective of, now you've got somebody that's making outreach. They're congratulating about their purchase. It's not you guys. It's a third party. So a third party verification is a huge thing. Look at what Steven does with Project Mapit. The social proof, same thing with us and the third party verification, right? Now you have that. On the off chance they mention something, I don't know, this may not be the best fit for us, we give the guys a heads up. Hey, we talked to Billy and Sue. Looks like they may not be wanting to move forward. Maybe they're on some other thoughts. Now, from your perspective as a sales rep, how awesome is it to give them a call preemptively, kind of ride in on the white horse, double checking on the project, make sure there's no questions, as opposed to we're at hour 68 and you get the certified letter coming back that we wish to cancel. Worst thing ever, right?
Yeah.
We help get in front of that a little bit for them. And now for you guys, once you get paid in full, the project's complete and everything's installed, they're provided the voucher to redeem the trip they have. Because again, we want to make sure this makes sense for you guys. They don't get the voucher just because they signed a contract, right? Mm-hmm. They got to finish the project, pay you guys in full. Then they get the opportunity to go on up to them. get a 7-day condo resort voucher with 4,500 options in 106 countries, or they get a 7-day cruise voucher. They can literally pick anything across the North American. We go Nantucket up northeast, all the way around the Caribbean, Baja, up to Alaska, which is our most popular cruise.
Wow, that's great. Vic has a question for you. He says, does the voucher, okay, can you read that there? Does the voucher cover the entire cost of the vacation? And what does the voucher cover?
No, great question on that, Vic. Yeah. So as I kind of mentioned earlier, it does not cover the entire cost, and that is by design and by the way we want it. Think of anything you get in the world. As they say it's free, you automatically think it's a gimmick and it's just been added on to that. Mm-hmm. So what it's going to cost covers the lion's share of the cost for anything. It's going to be anywhere from 50 to 80% of the travel cost. There's a lots of other factors that go into having a hard figure, but that is what we're guaranteeing that the homeowners are going to save on each and every trip, 50 to 80% on that. The all-inclusive part kind of depends on the route they go on. The condo resorts, think of them where you're going to get a play, like almost like an Airbnb. You can have like separate houses. You may have some that are in larger buildings as well, but you have 1 to 3 bedroom options. So you're bringing your food, you're bringing your drinks. You're just going to have a place, really just an amazing facility. The cruise options, that's going to be food and non-alcoholic drinks included. Mm-hmm. So you do get some of the things included with that. Obviously, the cruises make the money on the booze, so you can buy alcohol bans, and our team can help you get that coordinated. It's just not part of the package you get with that. All really, really great questions, man.
Makes sense, and that seems to be about how it always is. Like even if we get a trip through SRS or ABC, because as a contractor, that's an incentive that they offer us if our sales with them is at a certain level, right? They give us a trip. Now, the trip usually covers, our travel expenses there. And then once we get there, though, if we want any extra add-ons like alcohol, even Red Bull, unfortunately, is usually thrown in that category.
Man, they hit you hard on that, don't they, man?
Yeah, they do. Everywhere I go, it seems like. And not having the flavor of Red Bull I like is the other challenge too. Sometimes I come up against, but no, that makes sense. Because it's upgraded stuff like that. So it sounds like you're selling the basic package, or they can upgrade it themselves as they go along, but it's really up to them. And Vic, like that's a great question. And my favorite's always been the all-inclusive stuff. So let's talk about the sales piece here a little bit before I forget. So it sounds like, not only do you offer this for us contractors to be able to offer a great adventure vacation for a family that typically wouldn't have an opportunity like this at a discounted price, right? Let's talk about the sales process of this. Like, so you come in, or virtually you guys will train our sales team on how to throw this into our arsenal. Tell us a little bit about that.
No, and that's the part where we literally are the mindset of give us a jersey coach and put us in. Like we want to get in the trenches and make sure that we implement this in the best way for you guys. Because here's the thing, there's all sorts of training methodologies and processes and things out there. And this is where we really pull that out in the discovery, and we tailor that to the training we provide to your team and implementation. Mm-hmm. So again, it's pretty turnkey. First week, you're looking at about an hour, maybe an hour and a half training where we do full implementation, run through the program, how to do all of the setups, the questions, when to insert it for the price presentation, because the biggest piece of this is where we want to tap into that that emotional, psychological element of the sale. And from what we found from the conversations we've had with the clients that use it, getting people off their normal train of thought when you come in about whatever the product is, you still got to deal with it, but just get them excited, get them curious, get them think about, man, when was the last time I went to the beach? And when am I going to do something for our family that is something that really kind of tugs at your heartstrings a little bit? That's where we really want to start getting those wheels turning as you're having your sales process and you're presenting all of the products and things that you're going to do to improve the home. So that's the part where our team comes in and really shows you how to place that into your current sales process, how to use it with programs you have. Maybe some people use Engage, maybe someone uses PowerPoint, maybe other people have different product stories, how they implement it. We have slides and material and things to support that as well. We're on the Engage marketplace right now, so you can get our decks and materials there if you are using that. So again, we want to really be kind of like a chameleon.
Yeah.
Because you guys have your process. Like, I'm not going to come in there and make you great. You're already kicking ass and doing wonderful things already. I'm just trying to make it better and accentuate it, right?
Yeah.
And that's different. What makes you great is going to be different than what makes the contractor down the road great. But you know what? Well, we can help them all.
Absolutely. You know, and continuous education, there's nothing wrong with that. And so my ears perked up when you talked about, you know, we come in, we train your team. And then you also touched a little bit on what I believe you were insinuating, like the emotional intelligence part of it. And what role does that play in making the deal in sales, the emotional intelligence portion of it?
Well, I mean, from my perspective, I mean, we can go on stats, we can go on studies, we can go on things we've shown all day long. But I mean, think about it from a personal perspective. When you're excited and pumped up about something you bought, how often do you back out of it? Like, here's one of the great analogies our trainer uses that really I love. How many's gone on and they bought a truck and they go in there and like, oh, my budget's $40,000. Well, next thing you know, you're walking out of that place because you got a $55,000 truck because you wanted to have the lift kit. You wanted to get the pool package. You want to get all this other cool shit on there that you really dig. That whenever you pull up to your buddy's house, when you pull up to your new building there, like, hey, look at this. Look how awesome that looks, right? You don't think a second thought about the extra $50 on the monthly note you spend on that. Because every time you see that, it gives you that emotional pull, right? That's what we want to listen every single time. It's like another piece we use in our training that I love is like, you tell, like, we like to joke and have fun. One of our trainings includes a little Napoleon Dynamite piece, right? And if everyone can remember this amazing show where you have Uncle Rico, the greatest backup quarterback that could throw a football over the mountain, right? He's going and he's selling his crapperware. He's got the wife, he's got the husband. And she goes, ooh, I want that. That's what we want to get every single time with those homeowners. And that's where the training comes into play, where we want to help them elicit that response. When you're sitting at the kitchen table and you're trying to get them on solar or siding or whatever that's going to be, we want to provide that extra little piece of incentive, like, ooh, I want that. And now when you get that, you know you got them. Because now they're hooked here, not right there. And that's the part that's going to maintain the sale. That's going to keep them through and make sure that they don't cancel. They don't have any sort of cold feet on that. And that's what we get in the trenches to help you guys out with, because we have the initial training. We have follow-ups. I mean, we're willing to help out as much as people are willing to let us. I mean, we have some clients, we have an ongoing schedule of 6-week trainings every 6 weeks, training new reps, going through new materials, going through new pitches, making sure that they know how to leverage it in the best way possible for those folks. So that's where I think is the biggest misconception of us. They see the vacations, they think that's what it's about.
Yeah.
No, the training and the in-depth piece. And like, man, I've talked to you for a long time. I've seen a lot of things in the industry. Like, dude, we get in the trenches and we make sure that you're trained, you know how to use it, and that everyone is on the same page about how to really leverage this amazing power tool.
I love that. And now that I got you warmed up on some of your techniques and stuff, how would you train us contractors on overcoming objections or rejections?
And what sense, in regards to like using the voucher itself, or just like
just in sales in general? Yeah, just in sales in general. And that's what I meant by, like, I'm warming you up on some of your tech. And I don't care if it's something that you guys use or just your opinion on it. And this can be a personal answer. This
is my thing on this is I like the process and I like the techniques. I really do. At the end of the day, it's connecting with somebody. It is active. Most important, it's active listening. It's hearing what that they value and what they're telling you is of importance to them. Because you can think all day long that you've got sunshine and rainbows and the greatest thing since sliced bread. But if that doesn't make a difference to that person, it doesn't matter. And you can sit there and be on your soapbox all day long and talk to them about features and this and that. And if you're not talking and solving that one thing that is of most importance to them, it's not going to work. And that to me is like, you can have techniques and you have ways to pull that out. But at the end of the day, like how you talked about with your podcast, I don't want to have analysis paralysis. I don't want to sit there and be so lost in theory and subjective. Like, at the end of the day, be a freaking good human, do what you say, and listen. And if you can do those three things really, really well, you're going to find out what somebody has going on. They're going to trust you enough to be authentic with what they want you to help out with. And then that's up to you to be authentic back and tell them whether or not you can help.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the part, if you do that enough and that is how you live your life, the right things are going to happen because the people you need to know are going to know you and you're going to be in the networks you need to be. And I think there's lots of other things you can kind of add to the periphery. But that to me is what I always come back to. Like that's my own keep it simple, stupid process.
No, I like it. Well, give us an example or tell us how do you build trust and credibility with a potential client? Well, and again, this can be personal. You don't have to read the manuscript that, Destination Motivation, hands us, but, give us your spin on this.
No, I mean,
because I know you've been in sales for a minute. We're all salespeople. We had a meeting yesterday and we made a funny because it wasn't a meeting of salespeople, but I made a funny and was like, we're all salespeople, whether I had to sell Jana and on the first date, whatever the case might be, we're all salespeople. So give us your spin on like, how do you build trust and credibility? Like if you're trying to sell me, like what's one of the first things that you want to show me and build? How do you want to build that trust and credibility with me?
I want to show you that I'm trying to hear what you're saying, that I'm not overrunning the words that are coming out of your mouth with my own prescripted, thought out response. Because I hate it when you sit there and you say something and it's like, did you even hear what I just said to you? And you're so ingrained in whatever you want to get out, what you want to say, whatever you feel needs to be said, that you're not really understanding or hearing what a person's sharing back with you. So I think that to me is the biggest piece to come back to it, and just being authentic with that, asking those questions, being okay. It's okay to get a no. It's okay to get an answer you don't like, because at the end of the day, that helps you understand if this is this a good prospect? Is this something I can move forward on? I think some people get afraid of that. I mean, if it's not going to work, it's not going to work. And you need to not waste your time. And you not need to waste the client's time as well. Mm-hmm. So I think that's the biggest part of all of it, of cutting to the chase, finding a quick point we can connect on. Like that's the other part with sales is like, you have a little different routes. Like, are we talking like new sales, or are we talking like account management and ongoing relationships? Because the way you build trust and can do things on that's a little different in my opinion. Mm-hmm. Like for sales, I got to immediately find something I'm connecting with you on, and I got to be able to relate and find a way that is my wedge to dig in and find more and more out, right? On an ongoing relationship, I say this somewhat lightly, but I mean, it's jacking up. It's messing up. Because that's where you know where the true feel of a person is. Do they own it? Do they acknowledge it? Do they work their ass off to fix it? Do they try to throw dirt over it and not acknowledge it? Just hope you don't notice it and just goes by the wayside. That to me, from ongoing relationships, speaks more to me and has more value than anything, is seeing like, how do you respond to a negative situation? Because to your point, not everything's always going to be sunshines and rainbows. Mm-mm. So that's the biggest part that I love from that ongoing aspect of sales, because I mean, there's only one perfect person that walked the world, and I'm not him and you're not him. So how do we deal with those times that we're not perfect? That's part I love seeing.
No doubt. No, that's a great point, is, we're all going to make mistakes, but it's how we deal with it and how quickly we deal with it is really where the difference is. And that's the lasting impression. In any successful business or sales, I mean, what makes a company successful is, even if you're inventing something, right, is fixing people's problems. You know what I mean? And that's the difference between success or non-successful. Like let's talk about the trash business for a minute. Like, I mean, there's a lot of money in trash hauling, and why? Think about that for a minute. It's a huge problem for people. Like, we're continuously throwing trash in, and this is something we don't even think about when we take it for granted, that paying that trash bill, they're hauling our trash away that we're accumulating on a daily, minute by minute basis. We're continuously throwing trash in a trash bag and then taking it out to our big green can. And next thing we know, someone comes and gets it. Mm-hmm. Right. That's why it's so successful. The trash business, hell, the mafia was involved with it it's very lucrative because it's solving a huge issue that we have, is removing the trash from our life. Right. And we can look at that metaphorically or physically, like, and that's why the trash business and the roofing business is a good business to be in, because it's solving people's issues. Okay. But there's a fine line between like sales, manipulation, adding value, empathy, getting back into that emotional intelligence that I touched on earlier is being in tune with that person and actually finding out what is the issue. What is the problem that you're having or that you're experiencing with your home right now, right? One of the biggest things that we train our guys is that we're not just out to put a roof on somebody's house. Let's first figure out, why did you need a roof on your house? Okay. Was it improperly insulated? Did you not have the proper ventilation? Did you not have the exhaust, the intake, all of those things? Like, why do you have 75 years worth of shingles on top of your house? Because I've seen people have 3 different layers of 25-year shingles on their house, and their house is only 50 years old, but they got 125 years worth of shingles on their house. And like, because nobody actually went in to investigate and fix the problem first. Like, that's why we're here. Let's fix, why is your basement leaking? Right. Okay. So your downspouts are routed in the wrong direction. Why is your neighbor's house receiving the water that's coming off your roof? Or, you got undersized gutters. Like, educating our team of identifying these issues first, right? Before let's not even talk about the price of your roof. Let's first find out and figure out, why do you need a new roof to begin with? Okay. Yep. My house is 25 years old. I had a 15-year shingle on. Okay. That's a no-brainer. But if you want to get the fullest life expectancy out of this 50-year roof that we're getting ready to put on your house, these are the things that we're going to have to do first, right? We have to go in there and make sure that your soffit area is ventilating and taking, getting the intake, the proper fresh air that is required, not just by code, but by shingle manufacturer specifications, right? And that's why we're a Master Elite. So I think if you can go in and figure out what the problem is, like, what is the issue, provide that value, right? And I think that's something, especially for somebody new getting into sales that maybe has not made 6 figures in their life before. I think that's one of the first objections that they run up against is that I can't sell a $15,000 roof to somebody because I can't afford a $15,000 roof myself. Okay. But if you can train them on the value that you're providing, and because you're good at sales and you can empathize with people and you have emotional intelligence and you're educated on the products and the knowledge and our tech stack and all those things that go into making us the company that we are today, the reward that we receive is a 6-figure salary because I'm empathetic. I'm a problem solver. And I came in and I fixed your issue that you will no longer ever have to worry about, because we will be here if there is a problem, but we're going to do it right the first time, because any job worth doing is worth doing right the first time.
Right.
So anyhow, that was my little soapbox sales thing, because I know you've been in, we're all in sales, whether we like it or not. I mean, sales sounds like such a horrible word. And I think it's an old Latin word. I believe I researched the word sales once before, and I can't remember where it came from, but it actually means giving. Okay. And don't quote me, but the gist of it is that it's, and I think so many people, it's like, oh, they use car salesman, or he's a car salesman, or he's a roof, like it, to the point where it's like, we don't even call our people salespeople. They're project consultants, because once people hear that word sales, it's like, oh God, it's like
the connotation is so negative.
Yes.
I mean,
yeah, it is.
It
the
is.
interpretation of it is definitely so negative, but what it is. So if you can approach this, and if we can all approach this, especially in the roofing industry, right? Approach this like, I'm here to solve a problem for you. Like, I'm seriously passionate about solving your issue, figuring out what the problem is. Why do you need new windows? Why did you need a new roof? Why do you need new gutters? Maybe you don't even need new gutters. Maybe you just need a gutter guard. Maybe you just need gutter guard on your house. It's your gutters continuously keep packing full of pine needles or whatever the case might be. But I think truly, honestly, that's it in a nutshell. So we talked about emotional intelligence. Why don't you share with us a memorable sales success story where you had to overcome a significant challenge?
Man, which one do we want to go with on this one?
I'm just going to hit you with it.
All right.
You ready?
All right, here. I've got one for you.
Okay.
When I was at One Click, as you know, when you start selling these CPQ systems, I mean, I'm getting in bed with you guys pretty deep to know your price list and figuring all that. I mean, I'm talking like guarded secrets type stuff, right? Oh, yeah. So, I mean, we got to have a good relationship to get that going. There was a guy that I was working with out. He was up in New Hampshire named Anthony Picarello. I don't know if I've chased a dude as hard in my life to get someone on for pick home than just a normal, like, East Coast guy, short, kind of smart alecky, just real snide on some of his comebacks initially, but then I don't care. I'll sit there. I'll just keep calling you and talking to you and being kind of a smart ass back, right? So as long as we're good at the back and forth, that's good, right? I tracked it down. I think I had somewhere in the neighborhood of like over 200 touch points, reaching out to this guy, digging into like your system. Like, we can help you, man. And this is the part, like what you're talking about earlier with your sales reps, between being manipulative and being a consultant. I knew for a fact I could help that dude. I knew it. I just had to have an authentic conversation to have him hear me and really get into what we can do and how that can make sense. And now I think Anthony still uses them, to my understanding, is doing great with it. And it's just, to your point, I'm not trying to manipulate anything. I'm not trying to get someone to buy something they're not. I want to get them to see how we can help. And here's the thing, as a salesperson, and this took me a long time to accept this one. You know what your second favorite answer is in the world? No. It's hard to accept that when you're first beginning in sales. But obviously, we always love yes. Maybe it's the worst freaking answer you ever get, because now you don't have resolution. Because to me, what maybe means, you've not helped that homeowner enough. That means no offense, you've not done your job, in my opinion. Because you either need to get them to a place where they feel comfortable with making a decision. That's what I view sales as. I don't want to sell you anything. I want to give you the information. I want to present to you how I think I can best help and help you make a decision that's best for you, whether that's moving forward with us or whether that's with going somewhere else. But to your point, do I know that I need gutter guards, or I need whole gutters, or do I need to have the spouts realigned on something along those lines? Now I know. Now I'm just trying to help you make the best decision given your circumstances. Because, hey, maybe they need gutters, but given whatever's going on in their life, that's not the solution for right now. Making sure you're comfortable of hearing them, back to my original part, active listening, and being able to tailor how you can help right now, build a relationship, but also possibly help in the future. Because, I mean, dude, you do 5 things. How many times do those people call you back? Man, you guys did a freaking awesome job on my gutters. I got problems with my siding. When can you come out there and knock that out, or whatever that is? That's the thing. Like this, that's the way the wheel keeps spinning, man.
Right. And we're in the business of people, right? And creating relationships. Like, we're not here to sell you a roof. We just want to be a roofer or your exterior contractor, your friends, your family, your neighbors, your aunts and uncles. That's our goal here. This has been such a great episode. And I look forward to getting back and talking more on the side about what it is that you're doing today and the value that you can offer us, so we can offer more value to our clients. But before we get off here, and this is kind of a question that I'd like, and I try to ask most of our guests that come on the show, but how do you approach continuous learning and personal growth to prepare yourself for the next role or challenge in your life or your career?
Man, great question. And I go back to some of my earlier pieces on the call. You know what you value, whether it's as a person, as skills, as your own dreams. No one else can tell you what that is as a person, right? People will be placed in front of you, and you can choose whether to value their information, value their feedback, and find ways to implement it. Whether it's, I'm talking to you about how you price stuff out, whether I talk with Bill about how he set up partner relationships from all of his things he had going on. Bill Phillips, I'm referring to on that. Or just other items with that. You have every opportunity to go and learn from the best in the business. I mean, right now, this device right here has more computing power than the space shuttle that sent the folks to the moon the first time. Like, you can go and you can research things. YouTube's a beautiful thing to find how-tos. Like I mentioned HubSpot earlier. Training courses, stuff there, Salesforce with Trailhead. I mean, there's so many online sources for you to do self-teaching, self-learning. And then you have people as well. I mean, you're one of the most helpful, generous guys I know. And there's many people out there. You just got to be willing to ask. And that's the biggest part I found as I was getting out of my own head trash and getting out of my way. People like you love helping. You dig it. That fills your own cup. But I got to be willing enough to ask. Like, you got to be humble enough. You got to put your ego aside. Like, you know what? There's some shit I don't know, but you know what this guy does, and I like the way he approaches it. And I would love to have some more conversations, just to kind of get some skills, get some osmosis, make sure that rubs off on me. So not only am I picking up the knowledge, but I'm picking up the process, because how you do it is just as important as what you do. And that's the part that you can't duplicate from other sources. So it's a combination of both. I love doing the ongoing things and being able to look through stuff, but I also I love being able to talk to folks and just reach out to them. I mean, re-engage with you. I don't know Chris Scoville from anybody outside of his Facebook stuff, and him being nice enough to hop on a few calls. I said, hey, you got some cool shit. You know what you're talking about. Let's talk. So, I mean, that's how I found our HubSpot guy. I don't know if you know Adam Sand, the roofing business partner dude.
Oh, yeah.
Dude's smart.
I know.
Sharp.
He is.
Hey, come help me out. Now that's who we're working with there. So, I mean, again, it's just being willing to ask. Maybe they can help. Maybe they can't. But you never know until you give it a shot. And that's been my biggest thing. And just keep rolling with that. Those who don't want to help or don't have the ability, don't have time, that's cool. There's a lot of other folks out there. Like I said, the network that wants to help you will help you. And you just got to do your diligence to keep finding, keep looking, keep digging, just like with anything. And I don't want to compare a relationship to sales, but you also can't discard that either. Like, you got to keep looking. You got to keep finding your tribe, your network. And then you find enough of them, then that's when really amazing things start happening. I mean, well, look at what you've grown from when I met you. I mean, I don't even think behind the tool belt was going when you and I first started talking. I think it's just like some brief concepts on it, but I don't think it kicked off and going. And now, I mean, it's got, really just cranking as much as anything else I see with you guys. I mean, it's really awesome.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for that.
Sure thing, man.
When you were talking there, I thought to myself, the only dumb question is the one not asked. You know, and the dumbest person sitting in the room is the one not asking questions. You know, and I heard somebody said, if I ask the question, I'm only dumb for 5 minutes. I look dumb for 5 minutes, right? But if I don't ask the question, I continuously on my journey of life to be dumb. Yeah. Right. So, and I'm getting to the age now too, where it's like, man, I just don't even care. I need to know, and I need to know now. So I need to ask the question to the person that I feel knows the answer to the questions that I have today. And it's like, you know, with social media and with YouTube and things like that, you know, Vic was talking about earlier. It's like, I needed to know the why behind it. Like, don't just tell me that the lighting is too bright in here. What can I do to the camera? You know, like, don't just tell me, well, your shutter's too wide open. It's like, okay, why? Like, what is the shutter first and foremost, and why are the lights so bright, and how come, you know, the same setting, different camera, or like, just I don't know. Like, yeah, I was talking to Janet the other night. It's like, I have a good golf swing, but I can't seem to strike it very well. I almost need someone to tell me and show me, okay, hold the golf ball and hold the club in your hand and show me exactly how that club is supposed to be coming across the ball. Am I supposed to be scooping it? Which part of the face of the club is supposed to be hitting the, like, you need to give me like that show me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Kind of concept. Like, just don't tell me like your swing looks great and roll your wrist. Right. Okay. That's great. So I'm rolling my wrist, but I'm still slicing the ball. Why? Like, give me that visual aid of like, what is the ball? Okay. The ball's sitting here, and how's the club supposed to come across the ball? You know, it's just, and I have to stop not wanting to ask those questions, because like I said, I'm either going to be dumb for 5 minutes, or I'm going to continue the journey of life being ignorant because I was afraid, because my ego and pride got in the way of asking these questions that are very probably trivial to other people, but not so trivial to me. But like you said earlier, most people are more than happy. That kind of lights them up. Like, oh my God, he asked me a question. Yeah. And just pour into you.
This may be a little bit of a hot take on this, but I mean, in my opinion, people that are offended by those questions are small-minded thinkers that are trapped by their own thoughts. Big thinkers, big accomplishers, they want to understand the why. Just like the Simon Sinek TED Talk, like, start with why. Once I understand why, now I can have that ripple effect in all the other aspects I need to cover. And when you know you're able to accomplish things at a high level, when you can get the why, maybe you come up with a better way. Like you said, maybe you got the shutter speed, you have the light, and you have all this. Well, now once you understand the why and you start putting all of your knowledge and your processes into play, maybe there's a better way to do it. Maybe there's not. But now you give your chance to give all of your own brain power and your own thoughts the ability to do that. And most people that, in my opinion, are people I want to have in my network, that's what they want to do. They want to do that as opposed to think, no, that's a dumbass question. Well, no, you're you. And that's cool. By all means, you keep being you. And I'm going to find more of my people. And that's all good.
No doubt. I love that. Good way to end our episode on that note there. And it really is about, we have to give it away to keep it. The information that I received today is made to be taught to somebody else. What good is it doing anybody if I keep it up here? It's not even helping me any by me holding on to it and then not, learning and retaining all of these things. If I'm not implementing them and if I'm not sharing it and passing the torch on to somebody else, there's no growth for either one of us. So that's where it is. If I want that silver bullet that everyone is seeking for success, well, you got to give it away to keep it. That's the silver bullet is serving others. So stop holding on to all the good gold nuggets out there and tell us why, damn it. Tell us how, So
I think it's Zig Ziglar, right? I help enough people get what they want. I'll get all the things I need.
Absolutely.
I mean, I've never had a saying that resonates more in my life.
Yep. Tenfold. Zig Ziglar's the man, especially when it comes to sales and leadership. A lot of people don't know that.
Yeah.
He's a legend. Yep. Definitely a legend. So anyhow, this is a great way to end this episode. We appreciate you for coming on here, Jimmy. Let's stay in touch. We appreciate all our viewers and our watchers. Don't forget to like, love, subscribe to Apple Podcast, Google Play, Spotify, YouTube, and of course our Facebook channel. Until then, we will see you next week. Episode 234. Our host, or our guest, I should say, not our host. Although I think the last time he came on, he acted as if he was our host. Is one of our great sponsors, Tim Brown with the Hook Agency. I think he turned around and started giving me rapid fire questions. But that's why I love Tim. Tim's a great dude. He's a great sponsor. He's one of our early adopters of Behind the Tool Belt. So anyhow, until then, Jimmy, you guys behave. And until then, sleep tight. Don't let the bed bugs bite. And we'll see you next week. Thanks
See you
a lot.
guys. Bye.